Service members to combat both threats abroad, invisible enemy at home. Earlier today, I spoke to our nation's incredible warriors and military families. Spent a long time on the phone with thousands and thousands of families that were hooked in. In order to stop the spread of the virus, some of these families have delayed planned moves to their next duty station. And in other cases, military families are also waiting longer to welcome home their heroes from deployment. There's a tremendous burden to bear, and the families have been involved with us for so long, and they are incredible. Without the families, they couldn't be the great service members that they turned out to be, and they understand that. And I must say, protecting our military families is our top priority. So they understand what's happening with respect to the virus, and they understand it well. They've been fantastic. As Commander-in-Chief, I'm deeply grateful for our service members, their spouses, and their children, whose love, devotion, and sacrifice keeps America strong.
Did he just say Commander-in-Chief?
Procure, and deliver crucial
kidding.
medical supplies to our doctors, nurses, and healthcare workers. My administration is leveraging the might
Get it?
of American manufacturing, supply chains, and innovators across the industry and across every industry. And I just told you about Walmart, and I could tell you about many more. Haynes is making
Man, I wish I could get a better view of those tassels. I'm pretty sure. Look at there it is. Oh, I asked for it and I shall receive. So I am almost definite that the tassels are no longer gold, you guys. Those look like red and white, twisted into looking like a candy cane almost. Tassels. The fringe is still there. Gold fringe, still there. Gold tassels, not there.
This enables FEMA and HHS to work closely with states, local governments, and private sector to allocate critical resources to highly impacted areas. Working together, we're entirely focused on getting materials to the right place at the right time. So we wanted to go directly to a hospital or directly to a certain state location, and ideally not even hit the state's warehouses. If we can avoid the warehouses, it's even better because they go directly into a hospital. And one example of that is Ohio, the great state of Ohio. Senator Rob Portman called today, and he asked for some help and got us, did a tremendous job, along with
See,
Mike
there's the
DeWine,
fringe,
great governor
but
of
the tassel,
Ohio, to facilitate
you can
a
see it
donation
right there
of
behind
2.2
the White
million
House where the
gallons,
timestamp
2.2
is,
million
coming down the
gallons. Think of what
middle.
that is,
That is a
2.2 million.
red and white
To
striped
the Strategic
tassel.
National Stockpile from Ohio-based Cardinal Health. Cardinal Health, we appreciate it, and they're making much more than that and different types of things. We're profoundly
let's just
grateful
get
for
rid
their
of that gold
contribution to
fringe.
protect the lives and safety of our
Frickin'
healthcare professionals.
Constitution under attack,
very well.
and I will be
FEMA
one
and
happy
HHS formed a
person.
historic partnership with the private sector called Project Airbridge to bring supplies
It is
from
really
other
getting
countries
hard
to
to
the
be
United States,
skeptical, you
including
guys.
gloves,
Like,
gowns,
shit is
goggles,
just
and
falling
masks.
into place,
These
lining
supplies
up.
will soon be distributed
All
around the
of our
country. We have
research is coming to
large
bear,
cargo
and it
planes
is
coming in
like,
from
even
various
as a
parts of the world
skeptical
every
person
day.
trying to
New
stay as
plane
skeptical
loads
as
are
I am,
landing
it
in
is
cities
getting
such as New
so
York,
hard.
Miami, Chicago, Los Angeles. Additional flights have been scheduled.
I mean, the
we're adding more and more.
podium changed.
And
The
they're
green light
actually
is
coming
on there.
in
The gold
ahead of
tassel is
schedule. A lot of
gone.
these flights are coming in with a lot of material ahead of schedule.
So many
The amount of
things.
usage, the amount of need is something that nobody's ever seen before. We are getting so much, but no matter how much we get, they seem to use it up very quickly. More than 17,000 National Guard personnel have now been activated all across our country. On Tuesday, the Vice President sent a letter to the governors calling on them to have plans
National
in
Guard
place
was
to
activated.
use the National Guard to move medical supplies from warehouses to hospitals. So a
IRR.
lot of times we'll deliver supplies to a warehouse in a state, someplace in New York or in New Jersey or in Connecticut or wherever it may be. And they're having difficulty getting it.
Did
moved.
everybody
So what we're
see,
doing, if we
like,
don't
when
bring it
he
directly to
dismissed all the
hospital,
generals?
is we've
He
authorized,
said,
it was a
don't you want
special
these guys to
authorization,
be able to get
the
back to work
National
so they
Guard
can
to
go
into
catch all
that,
those bad guys?
Facility and to move it for the state. So the National Guard is moving a lot of this equipment and medical supplies into a hospital or into an area where it's needed by the state. As I said yesterday, difficult days are ahead for our nation. We're going to have a couple of weeks, starting pretty much now, but especially a few days from now, that are going to be horrific. But even in the most challenging of times,
Starting
Americans
now,
do
a
not
couple
despair.
days from
We
now,
do not
things are
give
gonna
in to
be.
fear. We pull together, we persevere,
Don't live
and we
in fear.
overcome, and we win.
We win.
This week, every American heart is joined with the people of New York as they continue to bear the brunt of the pandemic. To every New Yorker, please know that we are by your side. I love New York. And every day we will be with you. And it could very well be that others take over from New York. There are some areas, some hot spots in other states that are really exploding. Some like Louisiana.
Exploding? Like all those strange earthquakes. Oh, explosion. There, he said it again.
Confronting this deadly plague, America
Isn't that funny? We've been having all these weird earthquakes in places that we don't normally have earthquakes. And isn't it even weirder that those places are rumored to have DUMBs, which is deep underground military bases?
Some people say 50 to 75 million people died.
Explosive.
Think of that. And that was a long time ago, over 100 years ago. Very, very, many books written about the 1917, 1918 pandemic. Our doctors are poring over the virus, genetic code, designing potential therapies and vaccines. Our planes are airlifting supplies from every corner of the earth. We're watching other countries, and they're watching us to see whether or not and who's going to be the first to come up with a cure.
Stop talking about vaccines.
A remedy of some kind.
There you go. Let's talk about treatments.
And of course, a vaccine. We're looking very strongly for a vaccine. Johnson & Johnson is doing well, and other
Johnson &
companies are doing very
Johnson.
well. But our
No,
most
you're
powerful
losing
asset,
me.
our greatest weapon in this effort
Don't be
is
name
the spirit of our
dropping people
And,
that are losing
we wanna keep away,
lawsuits.
keep a distance, keep away. If you don't get it, it solves a lot of problems. If you don't get it, and you can't get it, you
The
keep the
opioid
distance.
lawsuits. Johnson & Johnson was a huge one. They took a huge loss
It's incredible. I've never
for
seen anything
harming
like it,
Americans.
the way the people who pulled
Purposely
together
getting
in this
Americans
country.
addicted to opioids.
So together we're going to win this war.
And they've
the sooner
lost those
we do, the
lawsuits.
sooner we
They
can
are
begin to
not the
rebuild.
good guys.
And we're ready to rebound and return to normal lives. We went from the best economy in the history of the world, the best economy that this country has ever seen, the best employment numbers we've ever had, 160 million people working, almost 160 million, to a point where the professionals came to me and they say, "Sir, you're going to have to shut the country down." I said, "What does that mean?" They said, "Sir, you're going to have to shut it down. And we're going to build it up, and I think we're going to build it up fast. I think we're going to have a tremendous rebound. There's a great energy and a great pent-up demand. And as you know, phase 3 was terrific, and phase 4, what passed in Congress, and phase 4, if that happens, will be great. I already proposed paying almost zero interest on bonds, and I proposed a $2 trillion infrastructure plan, which would not only fix our roads and highways and bridges and tunnels and other things, but will also do something very good. It's called jobs. I'm also asking that restaurants and entertainment facilities go back to the old deductibility from corporations, where corporations can buy, because otherwise a lot of these restaurants are going to have a hard time reopening. It takes a long time, and they're going to have a hard time reopening. So we're asking for going back to deductibility, where corporations can buy, and corporations can go out to lunch and they pay and they get a deduction on what they eat. They get a deduction on the bill, and same with the entertainment. It's going to bring a lot of people back. I think it'll open up the restaurant business. People forget that years ago they had that, and when they got rid of it, when they ended it, for whatever reason, but they ended it, many, many restaurants went out of business. Many entertainment type facilities went out of business, and now's a great time to bring it back. It was a terrible time for that business after they ended it, but this is a great time to bring it back. It'll keep our restaurants going. In fact, I think the restaurant business will be actually bigger and better than it is right now. So we're also talking about that. And now what we'll do is we'll take some questions, and I see Mike is back with some of the folks. That's great, Dr. Fauci. And we will, oh, how are you? Thank you, Deborah. So we'll take some questions, and we make progress day by day, please.